shall we move down then, Jamie, to the Friday reveal, which did make me chuckle because I didn't bother watching this one.
No, I didn't.
The Red Bull reveal. Of course, has to be mentioned before we get into it. Partnership with Ford for 2026.
Indeed.
What do we make of that?
I think this was kind of on the cards for a while. There's been whispers about Ford, or certainly another major manufacturer, wanting to return to F1 in 2026. I think it's good all round, really, for the sport, for both companies involved. And yeah, it's curious though, something to mention. They announced the engine manufacturers for 2026, and you had Ford, Red Bull powertrains as a one entry. You had Ferrari, Mercedes, Renault as 3 entries, but you still had Honda, which I did think was interesting. Because
honestly, I was thinking about this as well. I'm really worried. I think we're gonna see McLaren go back to them.
That would be
I know this is just a discussion for the other. I know this is a discussion for another day. I just feel like it's either going to be. So I think it's going to be McLaren or Williams. I feel Williams is the more believable. No, Red Bull have already made it clear they do not want AlphaTauri using different powertrains still. I don't think they want the sort of a rebirth of. I know it was obviously a very long time ago, but 08, where the AlphaTauri, or obviously the Toro Rosso back then was quicker because it had a Ferrari power unit rather than a Renault one. I don't think Red Bull want to do that.
I was thinking more Honda would just buy out AlphaTauri as a team and enter.
There's still the potential of that, but there's still just this belief that Red Bull don't really want to give AlphaTauri up just yet.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's one for the future, definitely, and we probably discuss it a bit further down the line. But Honda...
Episode 300.
Yeah, Honda still want to be involved in Formula 1, despite effectively being ghosts now, because they're no longer...
It's so weird.
Anyway, yeah, it's very strange.
But they're not, not part of Formula 1. They're back on the Red Bull cars, aren't they?
Yeah, despite leaving. They're like, oh, actually, Red Bull, now you're winning championships. Can we stay a bit?
But they'd already, they were winning the championship when they said they'd be leaving. Honda, it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
What sort of goes on over. It's like they're trying to find out F1 information on dial-up or something.
Yeah.
And they're getting information 6 months after everyone else. It just feels so weird.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know why, but there's just a little part of me that believes that what we're going to see, this is kind of like my hypothetical at the moment, is McLaren aren't going to get any closer to the front using Mercedes power units, which is obviously why they left Mercedes power units in the first place. I feel like now they're going to see how Honda have been able to develop an engine that was good enough to win. McLaren, of course, we've seen a huge shift in their culture as well since 2015, and obviously the start of that whole debacle. I feel like they're going to go back to it again. I'm not going to say whether it's going to work. I mean, it can't work out much worse than last time. But I feel like it might now be the key to bring them back close to the top.
Yeah.
But that is a discussion for a very, very long time.
Massive tangent. Back to
down
Ford.
The line.
I
back
think it's generally good. And it's good for F1 in America as well, getting a big American name. If Andretti...
But we had GM wanting to come in.
Yeah.
I feel like this was why everyone was so against GM.
I'm not sure, really. But obviously Andretti may or may not happen. We still don't really know. But the fact we've got a definite American presence in the form of Ford is good for F1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no real point talking about the livery, is there? Because it's exactly the same as last year's
And
car.
it just amuses me that people wasted their time watching the reveal when it was going to be exactly the same. It always was.
Red Bull don't change livery. We'll give them a special shout out, though. It is quite cool that they're allowing fans next year to design liveries for each of the US Grand Prix. I can't see any way that that's not going to work out badly.
There's going to be so many parody attempts on Twitter and Reddit
there is
about
gonna
that.
Be a lot.
Yeah, we should just make a livery that just has our logo on the side.
We are going to make a Knowing Your livery at some point down the line, so look forward to that. Get yourself tuned in for that episode. But I mean, obviously, Red Bull. I mean, what can we say? Of course, after the dramatic title conclusion in 2021. They absolutely just kicked the ball out of the park, didn't they, in 2022? Looked a little bit shaky at the start of the year, but they quickly stamped out any issues and never really looked back in most of the second half of the campaign. It felt like towards the end they started to come under a little bit of pressure from both Ferrari and Mercedes, but it certainly wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
Surely this year, anything less than another championship double is a disappointment. But we have got the penalty for the budget cap.
Yeah, that'll be the challenge. The big thing for Red Bull to try and kind of see off is this reduced aero time in the wind tunnel, and yeah, they are going to be a little bit like they're going to probably have to obey the budget cap this year, because you imagine a second defence and the penalty would probably get worse, so that might affect them.
I don't know whether did you see the comments that Max Verstappen made today?
No,
which I found quite interesting. It was along the lines of, and I'm going to try and like paraphrase this here, of course, of that they admitted they went slightly over the budget cap, but he was also sort of there like, I'd rather like not finish second or third every year. There's nothing more depressing than that. So you're kind of there going, are you suggesting that it's okay to cheat as long as you win? Or like how has this been twisted?
Yeah, that's a very easy to manipulate headline right there. But yeah, the Red Bull obviously was overall the strongest package last year. Maybe not the fastest car in terms of super times, but they were the only serious team that had one of the fastest cars out of them and Ferrari. Obviously Mercedes were really struggling. I think in terms of ability to run a team, Red Bull absolutely blow Ferrari out of the water. The only team that could hold a candle against them is probably Mercedes if they have a car similar. I think the expectations for the season kind of depend on how quick the car is from the off, because if we rock up and Mercedes have the fastest car again, Red Bull will struggle to come back, I think.
Which does make me chuckle, the fact there is still just this belief, isn't there, up and down the grid, that for Red Bull, like, it's all about what Mercedes will do.
Yeah.
It's not about what they do. Everyone's just thinking, what will Mercedes do?
It also means me people disregard Ferrari from the off, even if Ferrari do have a faster car. Yeah, that does also make me laugh.
Even if Ferrari are quicker at the start of next year, it won't really matter, because it's all about what Mercedes will do. But I mean, yeah, like we said, obviously this year they're going to be trying to gun for title number 3, of course, for Verstappen, and obviously their second constructors in a row. One bold prediction then, Jamie, for 2023.
Ooh, how bold can we go here? See, it's not very bold just predicting a championship, is it? What can
I... No, not when they're reigning champions.
I will say every race Verstappen finishes with a fully functioning car, he finishes on the podium.
That's not really a bold prediction either, to be completely honest.
There's not that many caveats with that, is there? I think that's okay. He finishes...
Yeah, but he's
I'll go one better.
Before.
I'll go top 2. How about that?
Top 2 every race?
Every race he finishes with a fully functioning car.
Okay.
It's very hard to make a bold prediction when Red Bull are as dominant as they were last year.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Here we go.
I don't think they are going to win it.
Wow, both.
I reckon
either.
I reckon they won't win either title this year. I think everyone has just gone on so much about how that wind tunnel time is not harsh enough penalty. 12% less than Ferrari. I think it's like 17% less than Mercedes next year. I think they're going to really struggle. I was tempted to say they'll have the third fastest car, but still finish second ahead of Ferrari. But I won't go that far. But I don't think Red Bull are going to win either title in 2023. That's my bold prediction.
Fair. Wow.
I mean, we're going to ask as well which driver will win out in 2023. It's not really much of a question, is it? How much will Verstappen beat Perez
I think
this year
Verstappen
if Perez isn't going to help him?
No, Verstappen will absolutely destroy Perez once again. I think Perez will pick up an odd win, but Verstappen will rinse him, as usual.
Yeah. Do we think we're going to see more inner-team rivalry this year because Checo's been so much I'm not helping him anymore?
No. Frankly.
Okay, fair enough.